I've been in this business for like over 25 years, and it frustrates me personally to see the things we were trying that time being tried again. But I understand since they've never worked, and they have worked in other parts of the world, we must think why. And personally, I'm changing my mind about this issue of focusing so much on food security. I know that's the argument that many people put, that as long as people have enough food, that is all. No, my argument now is we must promote our farmers to produce more than they need for their food. In other words, they must move out of food security. That's how we address the poverty problem. And to do that, we must be able to produce enough. They must be able to produce enough and more to send to the market. Otherwise, the following season, after all, they eat very little of in a good season. They produce several times what they need. But if they are not able to benefit from selling that, then they will not produce the following year, even for their food. So I know I'm overemphasizing, but I really think, and I hope ASARECA, and I belong there, so I'll argue my case, and I've been trying to argue that we must get out of talking about food security, because that again brings the mentality of subsistence farming, that all we want is people to have food. And yet we are talking of economic development. We want farmers to have wealth. And if they have to have wealth, then we can't be complacent with just them having food. So we must find ways, however difficult they are. And they become difficult because there are many small units. Combining them and getting them to approach a market collectively becomes a problem. But that is where development, in my view, should focus on. The other second point I wanted to make is that we should have both a focus on linking to the market, but also a nutrition aspect. So that when we talk about pulses, when we introduce cowpeas and green grams, we remember we also need to promote carbohydrates. And I still think, well, I know the argument here is that they'll go and buy the maize, but I think they should also try to produce the carbohydrates that are producible here. Millet, sorghum, and the others. Otherwise, it is impressive. I think when we were trying Tumbukiza and all the others, it was not for these kind of areas. It was for dairy producing areas, higher potential areas, which also have water stress issues, but not as severe as here. So I'm quite impressed to see that it is happening here. But we need to make sure that it is working and it is sustainable. Thank you very much.
Chairman.
Okay. Yeah. I should say I'm very grateful for the best in this area. Because hunger had pushed us to the wall. And now we have new technology, so getting out of hunger, we promise you we are going to cooperate and do our best. That is on behalf of the farmers and the group at large. Thank you.
Gam, can you say something on behalf of all of us? Now that you are the oldest again.
Yes, on behalf of the innovative innovation platform that was formed in this country to look into issues of water productivity for the farmers in Makindu and also in Machakos. And I take this opportunity to thank ASARECA and the World Bank for having come up with this kind of project that will be able to help our peasant farmers, men and women, smallholder farmers, to get out from the yoke of poverty. We know that this project, after 3 years, when we shall be discussing about facing over, a change will have been realized. And as the officer from ASARECA has said, we will only see that change if actually we will be able to see these two events, food security and surplus for marketing. So with those few remarks, I say thank you.
Sasa can